Hi, it's Darnell with The Grill, and today I'm going to be cooking up a flatbread pizza, and also I'm going to do a thin crust pizza. I'm going to cook them both up on my Green Mountain Grill's Daniel Boone Pellet Smokers pizza oven. It's pretty sweet. I mean, it cooks pizzas in minutes, and I mean minutes, like 2 minutes maybe. These being thin crust, you know, it may take less than 2 minutes. We'll see. But I'm going to try and cook up a pepperoni flatbread and a margarita thin crust. And so I'm going to show you how I make that crust up and how I heat those pizzas. You're going to see how fast they cook in real time. So you don't want to miss this, and we're going to get started on that pizza dough right now. Alright, so to get the thin crust and the same dough that I can do for thin crust I can use for flatbread. So I'm going to be using the same dough ball and just using part for each pizza. But going to be making a 1.5 pound dough ball this time to make it smaller, won't need as much. The ingredients are similar to what I do with regular pizza dough, but with some slight twists that you want to be aware of. So I'm going to put in 1 cup of warm water. Going to put in a tablespoon of kosher salt. Don't use iodized table salt. That is not as good for the way the dough works. Going to use a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. Now I'm going to be pouring in 3 cups of flour, and specifically all-purpose flour, not bread flour, because I'm using this for thin crust and flatbread pizza dough. So I want something that doesn't have as much gluten and rise as the bread machine, or the bread machine dough. Don't want the bread machine dough. Want the all-purpose flour instead of that bread machine flour. Alright, got a little mixed up in my wording on the dough there. I was saying don't want the bread machine dough. I do want the bread machine dough. It's coming from a bread machine. I meant I don't want the bread machine flour is what I don't want. I want that all-purpose flour. Now I'm going to be using a little bit of yeast, but this time instead of 2 teaspoons of yeast, I'm only using a 1/4 teaspoon of yeast, just to give a very minimal rise to this dough, so that, you know, it can be a nice flatbread and thin crust. Making a little well here to put my yeast in, and so my yeast is in the little well there. So with that, I'm going to close up. Alright, just setting my bread machine to the dough setting. Now that I've got my bread machine on its dough setting, which takes 1.5 hours, I'm just going to start it and bring you back in 1.5 hours when we have our dough ready, and then we'll start getting these flatbread and thin crust pizza together. Alright, so the dough is all ready to go. So before I start rolling it out and putting pizza together, just going to go ahead and get the grill warmed up to temp. So I've got my app connected to the grill. I'm going to power it on and confirm that, and then just real quick set its temperature to 430 degrees Fahrenheit, because when you set it to 430, the pizza oven and pizza stone are heated up to 850 degrees. So 430 equals 850 degrees, the way the pizza stone and pizza oven are designed in that Daniel Boone there. So now that that's nice and going, now I'm going to give you the weather report. And outside it's sunny, 61 degrees Fahrenheit, real feel 58 degrees Fahrenheit, humidity is 45%, wind speed is 12 miles an hour. We are nearing the high today, which is expected to be 63. So gonna go ahead now and start getting the pizza together. Gonna start by just tossing some flour out here on my pad that I'm using to roll the pizza dough out on. Alright, so getting my dough ball out of the bread machine container thing here. Alright, so I'm gonna start with the flatbread pizza. I'm going to do the flatbread first, and then I'll do the thin crust margarita. So I'm going to make them all up now so that they're all ready, and then, you know, when I get to putting things on the pizza oven, that'll be done. That'll be quick work. So what I'm doing here to make my flatbread, since I've got this dough that is not very heavily leavened, I'm just going to press out as thin a piece as I can using my rolling pin. Alright, now that I've made it as thin as I can make it, I'm just going to cut myself out a rectangle, since your flatbread pizza has your rectangle shape and your thin crust pizza has a circular shape. So I'm just going to carve myself out a rectangle. Alright, got my rectangle carved out. We'll save the remainder of my dough for my thin crust margarita pizza. But here we have our flatbread dough now. So I'm going to start dressing up my flatbread pepperoni pizza. I'm going to put on the pizza sauce, the cheese, and then pepperonis. Alright, with my flatbread pizza all put together, I'm going to put some flour on my small wooden pizza peel, and I'm going to put it on the wooden pizza peel. The wooden pizza peel is much easier to get pizza off of into the pizza oven, but I've got something for that large steel pizza peel that should help with getting it off. I got a good suggestion from someone in a comment that I'm going to try. Alright, got my wooden pizza peel floured up, so now I'm going to transfer the flatbread to the wooden pizza peel very, very carefully. Should have actually made it on the pizza peel, but after I got it carved out, I just forgot about that step. Alright, so we'll set the flatbread pepperoni to the side. Gotta roll out my pizza dough for my margarita pizza now. Alright, not the most perfect circle, but it's homemade, so it'll do for me. Here's what I'm gonna do. I've got my metal pizza peel and I've got some butcher paper on the peel. So what I'm gonna do, I'll have the pizza on here, and when I get to the grill, I'll be able to, Lord willing, slide it right off that butcher paper into the pizza oven. Then I can remove the paper and use the peel for all my spinning and such. Depending on how fast this goes, I don't even know if it'll go so fast that I won't even have a chance to spin. Alright, so now I've got my pizza sauce for this margarita pizza, and I've got myself some fresh mozzarella that is already sliced that I'll put on top. Alright, so got my margarita pizza together. So basically, I give my pizza stone 20 minutes to warm up, so I'm going to give it a little more time. And when I bring you back, I'll be, Lord willing, putting the pepperoni pizza over there, the flatbread pepperoni over there on the pizza stone. And after that cooks up, then I'll bring right out the margarita and do that one. Alright, I'm getting ready to put the pepperoni flatbread on. The pellet grill is at about 400 degrees right now. It's trying to get, I guess, back up to 430 again. It's been fluctuating a little bit. So it's probably at about 800 degrees right now. One thing I wanted to mention, I'm making sure now that I keep the front rack down when I do pizza. Makes it easier to get in there, manipulate things. And I'm going to be using Green Mountain Grill's premium Fruitwood pellets. That's what I've got in here now smoking. So I'll go ahead and get this in. Got it in there. Give it a little time. See if I can move it a little bit. folded it a little bit under there. Give it another minute or less. Finished flatbread. And close up, go get the margarita. Now we got our margarita pizza. We'll see how easy or hard it is with this butcher paper. Gotta get it in position here. So much for that bright idea. I thought I'd be able to slide the paper off before it started burning. No way. That paper burns as soon as it gets in there. So I'm gonna get it onto my peel. Let that be a lesson to the rest of you out there. Oh, the fun times you'll have in the comments over this one. Alright, let's try this again with this steel. Get this up here. Got it all in now. So just use the metal and a little spatula or something with some flour. Don't try any other tricks. And try and spin. Burnt on that back end. Alright, I'm pulling it. There's our margarita thin crust. Not too bad, all things considered. I'll see you inside. Alright, so yuck it up. Leave your comments. I know it's going to be an entertaining time. So basically, you know, all's well that ends well now. We got our pepperoni flatbread. We got our margarita thin crust. So I got myself some parsley flakes here. Just going to shake those over the margarita. Give it a little more visual effect. Alright, so now we got the parsley all dressed up on there. Just going to take a slice off the end of my flatbread pepperoni. I'm going to cut up my margarita pizza. Alright, gonna plate my flatbread pizza slice. Plate my margarita pizza slice. I'm gonna get the camera moved around and we'll taste test. Alright, here's our pizza that we survived cooking. Alright, I'm gonna try the pepperoni flatbread first. See the bottom? Well, one of my pepperonis just fell off. Put that back. But gonna taste this. Margarita time. Alright, I will say of the two, the margarita pizza tastes better. The flatbread pepperoni, I think that the thicker crust that I made earlier with the pepperoni tastes better than a flatbread pepperoni. And so the thin crust margarita came out good, but I think maybe it's just my preference to have more dough overall, so I can go with a thicker dough pizza. I guess if I had to choose one or the other, it's just the best tasting of all. But the thin crust margarita tastes real good with a thin crust. The thin crust pepperoni is not as good as the thicker crust. Tasting the thin crust the flatbread pepperoni makes me want the thicker crust pepperoni that I made earlier. But the margarita is good with the thin crust. So, you know, hey, that's how it goes sometimes with cooking these pizzas. You know, you try some things and some suggestions turn out better than others sometimes, and that's the way it goes. But I gave it a shot, so you don't have to. Anyway, you can find written form recipes at dgrillsmoke.com. Also, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at dgrillsmoke. And also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Share the video with your friends, even if for humor's sake. Subscribe to the channel, and good eating.